Good morning, friends. It's Angela, and welcome to the channel. Oh, we got something sticking there. And we are back for another Mindful Monday, working in our art journal. I'm not quite awake yet. I haven't had enough coffee. But we are going to call this one today, Know Thyself. So let me explain. I've got this out in front so that if you are new, first of all, a warm welcome. My name is Angela, and I do a lot of paper crafting, DIY projects, lots of different fun things. Well, at least I think they're fun, and I love to thrift for vintage treasures as well. And one of the things that I did in my past life was a lot of educating on mindfulness, happiness, the neuroscience behind it. And so I thought this year we would kind of combine that by doing a weekly journaling video of some sort. But this week, I'm calling it Know Thyself. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. But before I do so, a quick shout out to those of you who have commented, subscribed, and have communicated or sent messages to me. I appreciate you. Specifically today, where Wendy Travels, Wendy Wah, and Stacy, oh, I can't even read my writing, Hallismith or Haley Smith. I'm not quite sure how you say that. But thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. So one of the things that that I want to concentrate on, so I have always had a planner. Now, I do work in my phone sometimes, at least for a calendar, just a daily, reminder. So Dave and I keep everything intact. But I really like to have a planner similar to this. And this is a culmination of all of the pages from a couple of years that I just kind of threw into one that I want to be able to recycle, things I didn't use or whatnot. And I really like my to-do lists. So there's something called a bullet journal. And a bullet journal is just things like maybe a list of books you want to read or books that you've read. It may be a bullet list of your to-do items. But there's something to be said about, these are all the things we're going to do, by the way. I'm just going to flip through this to get to where we're going. There's something about consistency in journaling, whether it's in mindful journaling, whether it's in an art journal, whether it's writing things out, whether it's a list of things, your bullet list. It's about consistency, right? And it's about making it a habit. And I am not the best at writing, but I kind of use my art as a way to be more mindful and kind of connect, think through things, let things go, and let the art be my therapy for whatever it is that, maybe is on my mind or things that I need to sort out. So what is interesting about mindfulness is that, first of all, I will share this, and I will probably say this throughout the year so many times. No one knows how to take care of yourself more than you. And no one can do it for you. So you have to find the right way that works for you. I'm just showing you throughout the year what I do. You do what feels right for you. And the other thing I would tell you is that for me, when I am able to make lists, like for example, this is my to-do list. I made it a new one yesterday, and I just wrote it down in a bullet style. That satisfies one side of my brain, and it will satisfy your left side of your brain, which is those concrete tasks and goals, seeing them on a list. And I'll tell you what, this is my secret. I'm not ashamed of it, but as you notice, there's a lot of things crossed off down here. And that is because, could you see that? Started my list here, but then I have all these things down here crossed off. Not because I made this list and those are the first things I did. Because there's something very satisfying to me, and I am one of those girls that I will write something down that I did if it wasn't on my to-do list so that I can cross it off because it's satisfying. And those concrete tasks and those goals written down in bullet style on my to-do list make me happy. Now, for the right side of my brain, I got to satisfy that too. And that is kind of organizing your feelings, your needs without actually articulating it, like not verbally saying it. So that is writing things down, maybe doing art journaling, maybe doing a painting, whatever that may be. It's both helping build your positive mindset. It helps you to relax. It helps you pivot. It helps you stay on track. And so today we're calling this Know Thyself, because I made that huge list. I have a pretty busy week ahead of me. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to be spending some time at the venue, and I've got a lot of work to do. And while I get excited about it because I love to organize, I know it is a hot mess over there because the boys just moved everything and it's all out in the middle, and it really truly is a hot mess. It's a lot of stuff, and I'm going solo. So I knew today that I needed to do something that was, I need a sip of my coffee. 1 second, please. I needed something that was just going to be relaxing while we just talked. Now, this is twofold. I'm just going to collage today, and I don't know that I have ever really I've made master boards with you, but I don't think I've ever just done a collage. So here's what we're going to do. This is going to be twofold. It's going to satisfy that right side of my brain just to kind of visit and chat and put paper onto paper. And I am going to do 2 pages because I also need to do, and I'm just going to get started. I also need to do the cover for the altered book that we've been working on. It's the last thing I need to do. And that altered book is just going to be for me. I might put some, what? Some of my projects in it. I'm just making sure I can see you. My projects in it, some, examples of the things that we do on Template Tuesday. Really what I built it for was to show you guys how to do an altered book, A, and B, I love them. So I wanted to do that, but I want to finish it up and get it put on the shelf so that it's where it is when I need it, and I can reference it as such. And one thing that I have never done, well, gosh, this is like 2 things I've never done. I've never done collage on just basic stick stuff on a piece of paper, minus master boards. And what else have I not ever done? I've never used, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, but I've never used paper for a cover of a journal. So my thought was, well, if this is going to be, I might as well test it out. I mean, many of you tell me if you use, I have done a cover made out of fabric and then, sewed around it and that kind of thing. But I haven't taken a hardcover book and then put paper on top of it. So for this, what I thought I would do, I grabbed all of the scraps that were from that altered book and some from that, from our tea time journal. And I am going to create 2 collages with all those papers. And then I am going to cut them to size for that book. And I'll have a video on that. So let's see. When do you see this? Let me look. You will see this on, well, duh, you see this on Monday, on Mindful Monday. So you're going to see this on the 16th. And then on Friday, I'm going to do the cover. And what my thought is that I will make these just to kind of relax before my days are going to get busy and I'm going to be running around. I will be vlogging. And then I'm going to sew around it. I'm going to cut it down to size. I'm going to sew it around it. And we're going to use these as our cover. I don't know. Living on the edge I am. I'm telling you, living on the edge. Oh, goodness. But This is, if you're a beginner at not necessarily creating paper crafting, but of considering mindfulness and kind of reflection and such, this is a excellent way to get started because it's easy. You need some paper and you need some glue and maybe a ruler or some scissors, but that's it. What I will tell you is one of the things that you can do is you can put these pieces down however you wish, and then maybe you just do a header or a prompt for each one. Remember, my prompts are on my Etsy shop if you want to use those, or make up your own. It doesn't matter. And then maybe you're just this, you know, whatever your prompt is, you only have this little space to write. So you don't feel overwhelmed like, oh gosh, I got this huge page in front of me and I've got to fill it up. That is really crooked, but does it matter? Absolutely not. And it just kind of gives you a little push to actually do it, but in not so much space that you're like, oh gosh, I'm overwhelmed and I can't possibly write that much. And if you watched last week's video, my tip was basically, and these aren't going to be like huge, I'm not going to get, well, I sometimes get philosophical, but I probably won't. They're just going to be like little tips, little things you can do just to jumpstart that mindfulness mindset. And last week, what we did is, my tip was put your pen to your paper and then just start writing. And you saw mine went in a direction I was not expecting it to go. I wrote way more than I thought. And I was on camera. Like, I kind of just forgot that you guys were all there, and I just started writing. And I set a timer for us for 2 minutes. And what you will be surprised with is that after that 2 minutes, you'll kind of lose yourself in your own thoughts, and that 2 minutes will just fly by, which is wonderful. You know what? We're going to put this great big piece on there because it's there and we got it. And, you know, the same holds true if, you know, and here's another thing that you can do. If you're one of those people that's like, well, I don't want to, you know, that makes me vulnerable. I don't want to put all my thoughts and feelings on paper so someone might be able to see. You know what? Put one of these, you know, put your collage down, write on it. And then keep covering it up. And then maybe another day, maybe you only do a couple little pieces of paper a day and you write on it. Or you cover this one, write what you want, cover it back up. You can do it a couple of times. Or you could actually, and we're going to do this. We're going to use some, what is it called? Probably some gesso. Maybe I want a jelly plate in our journals because that's another really, painting is another, I know you, please bear with me. You do not have to be an artist. You do not have to know how to, you know, paint a masterpiece. But it is also an extremely relaxing way to kind of get everything out there. So, you know, you could write as much as you wished and then cover it up. You could rip it up. You got a paper shredder and you just want to do it and shred it. So you just got those feelings out there. Do that. No one says you can't. It's your journal. It's your mental well-being and it's your prerogative. So you do you. Now, this is one of these is going to be the cover, and I really want it to have some of those elements from those pages that we did because they were wonderful. Now, you will notice that I did not use any wallpaper on this because wallpaper is thick. I did think about using wallpaper and only wallpaper and still sewing it, but then I thought, I think for that cover, it is a book, and it did end up getting very gator mouth, which is fine, that I didn't want to do that. So let's use, I think this is I don't think that's one of mine. I do have some wallpapers like this. I'm going to just cut this because it gives me less stress. And, you know, you've heard me if you've been following the channel for a long time. I truly believe that the rules are there are no rules. When I show you guys how to do something, I want you to interpret it in whichever way that you want, whether it be, you know, mindful journaling, whether it be a tutorial, whether it be just anything. And there's no one right way. And I know sometimes it's hard to give yourself permission to just create and craft. And I want you to know, and I say it a lot, that it is okay. The way Angela does it, or the way anybody else that you watch does it, is not the end-all be-all. And you know, I learn a ton from you when you share your things or send me messages and share your work, or make comments about, hey, have you thought of this? That is so refreshing. I love it. I love to hear from you. It gives me new ideas, things I might not have thought of. It just helps unleash our creativity when we can kind of lean in and lean on each other. And that's kind of what we're doing today. We're just relaxing and leaning in. Because I didn't have it in me to do something else today. I was like, no, not happening. Okay, I want it to be that long, but I don't want it to be that wide. All right. Is that going to fit? We better go a little bit. Yeah, so I kind of hit Dave says I do this every day, which I guess is true. He's like, girl, you just hit the ground running. You don't stop. It is true, but it is, you know, for some, it may be overwhelming. For me, it's the way my brain operates, and I'm better off just going and getting started. Because I'll tell you what, by the end of the day, like by the end of the afternoon, 3 o'clock comes around, my brain's shut down on the creativity side of it. But from 5 in the morning until about 3 o'clock, I am golden. Okay, so this is going to be our first page. Now, what I do want to do, oh, I wrote it down somewhere. Did I throw it away? Probably. I'm just going to take this out. It's now not going to be in my journal. It's going to go on my page. But I see a few things. And the reason that I'm doing this is I just want to make sure it's nice and glued down. But let me show you what I'm going to do. Oh, I had something else. See that? That's for my tea time journal. But I had this one. Maybe we'll use these. I'll put those aside. Maybe we'll use them when we do our cover. This is another technique I want to do with you guys too. So easy. I know it just looks like a bunch of splatters, but we're going to cut this. I do have my journal right here. What did I say this was? I think 6 by 9. I better measure it again. See what I'm saying? It did get fat. I'm okay with that. I already punched the holes in here, so I had them ready when I covered this. Okay, 9.5 by 6. Okay. So let's just cut this down because off camera, I'm going to sew around this. Oh, and I'm going to have to change my thread. Okay, 9.5. See that? I see this. Nine and a half. That's not on there right. So my reasoning for this being know thyself is that, you know, if you were going in 9.5, oh gosh, did I say 6? I'm sure I did, but I didn't. Hi, Angela. Is that you need to know, like, I didn't want to get all deep into mindfulness. I wanted to do something fun. All right, so this is done. I see that that needs to be trimmed off. I'm going to do that in the... And that is ready to put in the sewing machine. So, well, let's do another one. Just like the other one. Go, team, go. Yeah, I was a cheerleader. Does that surprise you? Okay, we're in camera. So let's just whip this one out. And we can decide on our next video. I really love this, and so I want to use this somewhere. So let's do that. We can decide which one we want for the front cover and which one we want for the back cover on our next video. So you're seeing this on Monday. Let's see. When I'm recording this in a couple of days, I have my first live sale of the year. And I did, well, it would have been last Tuesday. I did kind of a preview. And I think if I can make it happen, I don't know, I might be biting off more than I can chew. So I'll test it out. I have it on my schedule, on my calendar. I keep a filming schedule, so I kind of keep myself in check. And I'm going to try to do my vlogs with a preview of whatever is on the upcoming sale, because I really would like to do a weekly sale. I don't know if this is this might get covered, but let's just use it up. It's not one of my favorite pieces. It is a lot of work. It doesn't take me a long time to put the items together. Like, I can pull the items pretty easily and quickly. Well, that's okay. It's going to end up being cut off there anyway. And so that part doesn't really take long. But what does take a long time is to catalog everything. And I do go through and I research, you know, all of the things. Sometimes when not sometimes, quite a bit of the time, when I am out at antique stores, thrift shops, estate sales, I will do a little bit of pre-research. Just to see, is this something that others would want? Is there a demand for it? You know, what is this worth the money? And is it worth me buying, or is it too close to like a retail price or that kind of thing? Now, with most of the craft items and tools, that's usually not a problem. But where it does get a little bit tricky is with some books, because some of those books are worth quite a bit of money. And they may not be books that I should have on necessarily a ephemera sale, because maybe I paid up for them and they need to be on a sale where I'm doing more hard goods and that kind of thing. I love this. And I need to probably, you know, make a little more money. So I have to look at, what did I pay for it? What am I comfortable with? You know, that kind of thing. So that takes me a long time. And then I catalog everything on my computer. And I was just thinking if I needed to, but this, you know, it's cut off. So almost, you know, that much of it gets cut off. But we're saving that because we can use it for something else. So that's the stuff that takes quite a bit of time. In addition to, then I have to take photos. I have to do reels and stuff for Instagram. And I just made a decision this year that I'm only going to concentrate on Instagram and YouTube. And I still have my Facebook group. And so if I'm posting something on Instagram, I can always have it also post to the Facebook page, but I'm really not doing, I really honestly am never on Facebook anymore, like personally or for any other reason. So, and then I found out we were having problems for both Restoration Harmony and Harmony Hall Facebook pages for the messenger. Like, I don't get messages on it. I don't know what the problem is. So that has been kind of frustrating. Okay, with this one, is this the same? I think it is. But let's use some of it down here. Wait. We'll move it up here a little bit because that's also going to get cut off. So I have to solve that problem, but it will happen. One of these days. Like, it's just, you have to kind of know your limits and when enough is enough. You can't do everything. And trust me, my husband would tell me sometimes I try to do everything. But I'm getting better at self-regulating. All right, I want these two on here. So we're going to cut these two in half. I have learned to I learned many, many years ago, I don't know, probably when I first started my career. And I don't know that, I mean, I didn't read a book about it, or I used to teach a time management class. I just kind of adapted what worked for me. I wish I would have done it more when I was in college. That would have been helpful. I fared fine, but you know, you do really have to manage your time. So I think I do a pretty okay job with that. But I always feel like, okay, I always have to be doing something. I don't do very well at sitting still. Like, watching a movie is almost impossible for me. But I can watch a movie and do something else at the same time. Dave does not believe that to be true, but it is. Okay, did I finish that? Perfect. You know, that's all there is to it. You know, just, and you know, build up. If you want to then put embellishments on it or whatever, you can do that. Now, these won't be in our folder because they're going to be, or in our journal because they're going to be on the cover, which I'm really excited about. We shall see what that looks like. I don't know. I was thinking about changing out the thread because it's black right now. But the more I look at this, I'm kind of thinking I want the black to make it pop out. Because otherwise, you know, well, pink would work. But, all right. What do I want to be the bottom? I think I want this to be the bottom. So 9.5. There we go. And 6. Right? Yes. Okay. So, not a long video today, but hopefully a helpful one that maybe this is something if you are feeling maybe a little bit overwhelmed or just need to do something other than run around like crazy. Try just doing some collage, and then, you know, you don't have to do anything with it, or you can find something creative to do with it. I'm going to stick these underneath with my tea time journal, which is the next journal we're going to get back to that I've missed. And you know, find something, whether it be painting or whatnot. I think in the coming weeks, we're going to get out some of our paints and some jelly plates and maybe some other mixed media and play around with it. So I hope that you found this relaxing and a nice start to your week. And until next time, friends, remember to take time to just be. And we'll see you soon. Cheers.